So I just found out a way to get 41% cash back, and yes, I said it, 41% cash back on dining by using a concept called stacking, and it's super easy, super simple. So in this video, I'm gonna explain to you exactly what you need, how to actually do it, and then show you that it can actually be done very, very easily. So without further ado, let's talk about exactly how to get this 41% cash back on dining, because I know a lot of people are gonna take advantage of this. Let's get into it. So in order to get this up to 41% cash back on dining, you're going to need two things. You're going to need the Bilt MasterCard, which we'll touch on in a little bit, and I'll kind of explain what that is if you guys aren't aware. But then the second thing you need is this app called Seated. Now, I've actually been using the app Seated for years, and it's pretty much just an application that has a bunch of restaurants on there that allows you to then get cash back at those restaurants after you've dined in, and it's absolutely amazing, and they're constantly adding more and more restaurants in here. Now, I will say as a quick caveat, Seated mostly only works in big major cities, so we're talking New York City, Dallas, Boston, Atlanta, Chicago, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, LA, and San Francisco. So if you aren't in any of these cities, or at least not around any of these cities, then unfortunately you will not be able to get this 41% cash back. Now, when I first got Seated, there was only 3 major cities, and it was like New York, LA, and then also Dallas. But now they've added more and more cities as years have gone on, and I'm excited to see how much more they expand to because they're only going to be growing from here. So to quickly summarize what this app does is you basically find a restaurant that's on this application, and then it's going to be rated with a bunch of different cashback categories in terms of how much cash back you're going to get from a percentage standpoint, ranging from as low as I've seen like 5% all the way up to 30% cash back on your entire bill, which is absolutely unheard of, and I've been able to actually do that full 30% before, and it happens relatively instantly. So once you dine at that restaurant and get that cash back into the Seated app itself, you can then redeem that for gift cards at big brands like Amazon and Uber and Barnes & Noble, AMC. There's a bunch of different brands. I believe there's like 50 brands that you can choose from to then redeem that cash back into gift cards, but then also you can use that cash back as actual cash at the next Seated restaurant that you go to, which is absolutely amazing. And then there's also some other experience that you can redeem that cash back for. Like, this is pretty much how I fund my Starbucks addiction, which is basically I go to these restaurants, I get my cash back, and then I get Starbucks gift cards through the Seated app, and then I use that to actually buy my Starbucks coffee. So if I don't have a Starbucks gift card from Seated, I'm not buying Starbucks, and that's how I justify being okay with getting Starbucks every once in a while. So that is the Seated app in a nutshell. It works great. So if you are in one of those major cities, whether or not you have the Bilt card, definitely download the app, and I'll leave a link down below for you guys to check that out. But if you guys want to maximize this and go from that 30% to that 41%, then the Bilt card is where this comes into play. So if you have the Bilt card, then you might be aware that the dining category for the Bilt card is one of the better ones, right? You have 3x on dining on any normal day, then you double that on the first of every single month, so you get up to 6% on dining. But then inside of the Bilt app, Bilt actually has a restaurant locator, so there's restaurants that are partnered with Bilt to give you even more points back when you dine at one of those restaurants, and that's up to 5x points. So if you dine on the first of the month and you dine at one of those restaurants, you get 11 points back, which is awesome to see in the Bilt app. Now, one of the big things I noticed about the restaurants on Bilt Dining is that those Bilt Dining restaurants are the same exact restaurants that are on the Seated app. There has to be some sort of partnership or something behind the scenes that isn't really talking about, because every single restaurant that's in the Seated app is also in the Bilt app, which is a great thing to have if you are in one of these major cities. So this is where the concept of stacking comes into play. So for instance, you find a restaurant that has 15% cash back on the Seated app, you book that restaurant, you go to the restaurant, you pay for it with your Bilt card on the first of the month. Now you have 15% plus 11% because you get the 6x on dining and the 5x because it is a Bilt Dining restaurant. Now all of a sudden you get 26% back, or 26x on whatever you spend. So you spend $100, all of a sudden you get $26 to play with, which is kind of absurd when you really think about it. So you can really start to stack this and really take advantage of this. And it works. Obviously, you don't need to do it on the first of the month. It works anytime that you use the Bilt card combined with the Seated application. So what I would recommend is go to any major city that you live in or that you're near, book a restaurant through the Seated app, then use your Bilt card to pay for that, and then everything just works perfectly. You get your point multipliers in the Bilt application, you get your cash back in the Seated app, and then you're able to use that however you see fit, which I think is the ultimate credit card stacking hack that I've seen so far. And the last thing I want to mention is that you technically don't even need the Bilt card to actually start stacking these point systems, because you can actually download the Bilt application and sign up for a rewards account. And the rewards account will include all the Bilt Dining restaurants. So you could technically still take advantage of the additional 5x that you get back through the Bilt Rewards application by just linking whatever credit card you have into the Bilt Rewards app. So let's say you have a Chase Sapphire Preferred card, you link it to your Bilt app, you link it to your Seated app, and then you go to Seated, you book your restaurant that's 20% cash back, you go to that restaurant that's actually in the Bilt Dining kind of database as well, and then all of a sudden you are stacking that and you get 20% cash back on the Seated app, you get 5x rewards on the Bilt Rewards app, and then you're good to go. So I think this is a great stacking feature that you don't actually need the Bilt credit card for. You don't need any specific credit card to fully take advantage of that. And in that specific example with the Chase Sapphire Preferred, you get an additional 3x back on dining because that is a category of spend for the Chase Sapphire Preferred. So you can stack this as many times over as you would like to. I've just seen that dining on the first, having the Bilt card allows you to get that 11% cash back or the 11x back, and then the additional percentage cash back on the seated app itself. But that is exactly how I've been able to get up to 41% cash back using both the seated app and the Bilt card and the Bilt Rewards application. So I do plan on doing a complete guide on the Bilt card itself and the rewards program and all the benefits that it brings, because in my opinion, it's one of the best zero-fee travel cards, or probably the only zero-fee travel card that's worth considering for anybody because of all the perks and benefits and the reward system and the partners that it has. So definitely subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see what that looks like in the future video. But I just wanted to shed some light on this dining stacking hack that I've been able to put together over the last couple months. And then the seated app I also wanted to talk about because I've been using it for years and it works amazingly well for what it's there for. But that will do for this video. Let me know if you guys learned something new. Is this something you're going to start to use on your day-to-day when it comes to dining out? Are you in one of those major cities that I mentioned? I do want Seated to add more and more cities, because if they add it, that means there's going to be more added to the Bilt dining database, which is going to be amazing to see. But if you guys want to watch some more content like this, click on one of these videos right here and you won't be disappointed. But that's going to do it. I'm Fernando. I'm out of here, everybody. Peace.